Last time on Reforged.
My name's Algira.
I like it. It's a good, strong name for a good, strong woman.
Yeah, no, you're real playful, and she leans in for a kiss.
Do you want to keep fighting, or do you want to see where this goes instead?
Yeah.
The traitor's back.
Sparkles, you devil.
Oh, so the deceiver has come home.
Until we meet again, kisses.
You are exactly on the border between Raven territory and Wolf territory.
Right. I'm a little, PTSD Pippi right now.
Pippi, I know that fight back there was really something terrible to watch. I want you to know that you're not alone in combat. If you ever need help, I'm right there.
Are you guys good to talk for a moment?
Sure.
Of course.
I have quite the story to tell, so strap in. But I'm sorry I've lied to you guys for this long. Hey everyone, I'm Austin.
I'm Zoe.
I'm Mia.
And I'm Ty.
Welcome to Reforged Podcast, episode 10. So, you guys are all sitting on this coastline between the Ravenlands and the Wolflands, and you have been meditating for a while, washing off the blood from the previous battle, and the smell of pine is rolling down out of the forests, and the ocean waves are just pretty relaxing. You guys have been sitting there for a while, and then that's when Zephyr was acting odd, and he said, "Hey guys, I've got something I need to tell you."
Are you a god?
Are you the kind of person that says, I've got something to tell you, and then waits for us to say something?
Go ahead, Zephyr. We're listening.
Is Talvar serious when he asks Zephyr if he's a god?
Yes. I already knew he was a wolf. What else is he hiding?
You actually...
Mononoke shit.
When Talvar says that, you take Zephyr aback, and he actually has to pause for a moment to think. Go ahead and roll an insight.
I do that kind of thing where it's like, and then I do a double take it. It's Zephyr.
Oh, I forgot your nickname too.
Talvar.
What did I call you?
Jitterbug.
I've been
Yeah.
multiple things.
That's right.
My character
Yeah.
keeps changing.
I
so.
got a whopping 14,
Okay.
so I probably didn't notice.
I mean, this is a strong enough reaction that all of you notice that he pauses when Talvar asks, "Are you a god?"
Oh, Blinda, always the joker.
Wait a minute. What? Are you
Right.
a god?
Right?
He stares down at himself in the water and asks, "How exactly would you define a god?"
I feel like there's a pretty clear line from human and god.
She
Immortal,
has a point.
extremely powerful, can see long distances without seeing.
That doesn't make sense.
People worship you.
Sometimes.
Talvar, when you say immortal, powerful, and can see a long way, he nods to the first two and coyingly kind of splashes at the water a little bit.
Hugs leans in real close. Are you telling me that you're stronger than me?
No, of course not, big man. I mean, not
That's
physically.
what I thought. Wait, what? What?
So wait,
You
so
have
you're
bigger
immortal
muscles.
by
Calm down.
by
Hugs
Um,
approves.
define immortal, because some people are immortal in the invincible sense,
Like me.
which would be no, like a you're very mortal.
Well, I've yet to
but-
die, so how do you know?
True. Hugs is a werewolf god.
I am Hircine.
Werewolf god barbarian.
Yes.
Seriously though, like, are you invincible immortal or are you just vampire immortal?
Well, I can put it this way. I am the last of my clan. And that's not because they passed away from old age.
Did you kill them all?
Oh, you asked that straight up?
Yeah.
I nudge Talvar. Like, come on, man, just a little bit. But I was going to ask it. It's fine.
He, like, you've known Zephyr for a while, and when you ask if he's killed his clan, he immediately, instinctually spins, and the way he looks at you is momentarily, like, quite terrifying, and I guess counts as an intimidation check against you.
Shoot.
But he drops it fairly quickly.
Oh, 22 if it's charisma.
No, you're fine. His expression softens, and I mean, he's your friend, and so it seems like he's being pretty trustworthy, just like you've been kind of telling you about any of these things. But he says, no, I absolutely did not.
Who did?
Or was it like a mass suicide kind of situation?
Wow, you guys are real insensitive.
I'm definitely separated from this situation. Pippi's looking at the sky, trying to work it out. Like, there are a lot of situations that could have gone down.
I'm going to choose to ask about mass
Just gonna
suicide.
think out loud really quick.
I'm just going to choose one of the worst options.
I'm just
there
thinking.
is.
So, like,
Did your
one
family kill themselves?
Did one dude like kill the rest of them, and you killed him out of spite?
How about instead of playing 20 questions, God Sparkle? Sparkle God.
Sparkle
God.
God of all shiny things. Why don't you tell us the story?
He says, Hugs, my friend, don't treat me any differently than you have already, please.
Very well, Sparkles. I actually prefer that name anyways. It's like my favorite nickname that I've ever come up with.
He cracks a smile when he hears, like, Sparkles again. Have any of you heard of the lamprey before?
I have not.
You may make knowledge checks.
Well, yeah, let's cut that if
10.
I do know. 20. Not an
Ooh.
act 20, but 20.
Oh, so Pippi is a studious one
I do know.
and well-traveled. You don't necessarily know of the lamprey clan, but you know what a lamprey is. It is an animal that actually exists in our real human world as well. They are these eel-like creatures that can be described as primordial. They're one of the oldest creatures on the planet.
Okay.
They are like these blind eels that swim through the water, and they have these rounded mouth that have like teeth all pointed inwards, and they like attach their prey and like kind of suck out blood.
Oh, cool.
They're a really respected creature in a lot of northwestern, I suppose.
Like Norse?
Not Norse, more like Inuit kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that far away. It's like America.
Yeah, that kind. So, and you know that there is kind of a rumor that is, like, there's a stigma associated with the lamprey, and they're not a well-liked creature,
Okay.
so that's what you know.
All right. And remind me the context that he mentions it. Just like, do you know the lamprey?
Yeah, he just basically just straight up asked you.
I know of the lamprey.
Then, keeping that in mind, do you know the origins of the animal clans? This one's more up to you guys. Like, if you think you would have a great reason, all of you probably have your own histories that have been told.
I've been looking into it because of the information on my gods, or god.
You faded off there for a second.
I'm sorry, I was opening paper, and it is quite challenging for me to coordinate my fingers. But my main research was into history regarding the gods and the clans to try and figure out what caused all the events. So I would actually research the gods quite a bit.
Talva probably knows more than I do. I just know people that have told me their versions of the stories of histories because I talk to a lot of
I
people
would
in my
only
travels.
know 2 regions, though.
I just know the
three:
bears,
the
the
elks,
mightiest.
the elks,
That's awesome.
the fox, and a little bit of the eagles.
Well, Pippi and Talvar might be able to piece this together while Hugs squints, I guess. And
Hugs is just like, bear team rules.
Bear team life. Bear team wolf team life.
Bear team hashtag bear life. Right.
So, the story goes, Talvar, that in the past there was this one proto-clan. Everyone on this continent lived in peace. But then the clans eventually started separating, having their own ideologies, and soon after that, physically manifested these animals, spirits, these animals gods, and they offered the people protection and advancement in their various pursuits in life. But the one caveat to that, the only thing that these patron animals asked was the people's immortality would be gone and they would all be mortals. And so willingly everyone started serving the animal gods and cast away their immortality in exchange for that. Rumors are that there was another separate clan that refused the patron animals, maintained their immortality, and were godless, essentially.
That's cool.
And that ties into the symbolism of the lamprey. Those people were believed to be ancient, they're immortal, and they're also believed to be blind. And so often they hide in the dark and are kind of kept away from things. I think there's a moment, this unspoken moment where, I guess, Talvar, would you relay this information to the party if you knew it?
Nope, but it's good to know.
Anything, maybe?
Just that all people used to be immortal at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or that there's a legend about it.
Yeah, and Zephyr nods his head, and he says, yes, the lamprey, we were few, and eventually settled under the ground in this cavernous area we found, safe from everyone else. We weren't necessarily hunted, but we were certainly unwelcome. There we made our home, in a castle, not too far from Polestar, but definitely underneath the ground. However many years passed, I can't quite remember, but that's when things started coming out of the dark and out of the ground. I was the only one that made it out of there at first. Others arrived and trickled up onto the surface, and the ones that didn't die of their wounds or went crazy are probably hiding among us, but it's just me for a very, very long time.
I put my hand on Zephyr's shoulder. Hold on. I put my hand on his arm somewhere, and I'm like, Zephyr, I am so sorry that you had to go through that. It's impressive that you maintained such a high level of charisma all the while.
I think she's hitting on you.
I just give him the biggest dart of a stare.
She just likes shiny things.
And beautiful women, but that's beside the point.
He nods a little bit and says, well, I've met many friends in the years, and they've come and obviously gone with old age or otherwise. And so I've kind of discovered that friendship is the only really unique thing for me anymore.
What about meeting the Rock? Daedalus.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh,
Daedalus, the Rock Johnson.
No. No.
Well, he seemed incredibly shocked when we met Daedalus.
I think it was just because he was so overwhelmingly beautiful and shiny, right?
You both are right. I actually have met a friend in the past who knew and feared the name Daedalus. And I believe she is a woman that we may have a great interest in shortly. He looks over at Hugs, and he says, the witch hiding under your mountain.
Yes.
That's his friend.
The divestiture.
In respect to her, let's abandon the title of the Witch of Divestiture. Her name is Katena, the astronomer. Please.
But we have to kill her, don't we?
No. I would very much prefer if we did not.
But I
That's right, I was
mean...
kind of against the whole thing anyways.
He's stuck in his room. It's fine.
Wait a minute. He's a god, though. I mean, I guess we have a god also, so it's probably evening out.
Is Zephyr ever actually managed to get with Captain Ivory? How would that work out?
What do you mean?
Well, he'd be dead
Well,
within weeks.
Well,
But-
besides you killing him, you're immortal. And she's not.
Not if Pip has anything to do with it.
So,
He looks down, kind of bummed out, and he says, I've had a daughter before, and I've seen her go, along with my wife.
I'm so sorry.
It's pretty rough.
no more questions.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I concede the stand.
What if we promise that we will never die? That way you don't have to deal with it again. Perfect. There, problem solved.
Oh, my God.
We only have to make it to level 20, right?
He stands up out of the water and thrusts a hand towards you for a handshake.
Hell yeah. And he'll just grab that hand.
And then you feel a surge of power through your hand. You are immortal.
Immortal werewolf god bear time again.
Hugs is doing all right for himself at level 4.
That's right. Hugs is obviously like being very jovial about it,
Uh-huh.
and just like, you know, Hugs obviously knows that he's mortal, like, but he's just like to kind of comfort Zephyr, being like, hey, it doesn't matter, like, we're friends now and we'll be friends for our forever, basically.
Aw.
So sweet.
But in
That is
Hugs it's just, I'll promise I won't die.
Hugs has more going on than we see, huh?
Exactly.
I like it. That's awesome.
It's good. He has an agenda to
Yeah.
his jovialness.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good.
And
Hugs probably had a very dark past.
ooh,
It should be fun.
Guys,
when
we need
do
a
that.
cat. We have not had a freaking campfire moment where we sit around the campfire and just tell our backstories.
It would be pretty fun.
I think that'll just happen throughout time, right? Just us revealing stuff.
Yeah.
I redact my question.
whenever you want a campfire moment, I guess
Also,
night
I
could be
wanna-
falling.
We could also see like about doing those individual episodes.
Oh yeah, that will be a big thing too.
Yeah.
But
I can give some insight.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
The individual episodes.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Yes.
night is still distant. You guys can probably travel, but you can also camp here. There wasn't really a specific timeline you had, so it is up to you. You were told next to go to Lakeside. Is that right, Pippi?
Mhm. Lakeside.
And so you can actually see Lakeside from this vantage point way up here, because overlooking the Ravenlands. Remember how it had those jagged like dragon-like scales?
Mm-hmm.
And out here, it just kind of looks like a rough surface, but in the middle of this vast, rough valley, there is a perfectly crystal clear like sheet of smooth texture, and you know that's a lake. And there's actually a city that's kind of built up on a rocky outcropping that kind of overlooks it. That is Lakeside.
Is this the back of a giant dragon?
No, it's
DM
not.
pauses.
The entire island's just a freaking turtle. Like, it's just some
Avatar.
simple
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
So
That'd be hilarious.
Zephyr looks around to you guys and says, would you like to travel or camp for the evening?
How's our wolf friend doing?
Oh, you had let him go.
I don't know,
that's
Hugs.
right.
How are
Yeah.
you doing?
Pardon?
Never mind.
I'm a bear.
Never mind.
It's
Don't
not
worry about
obvious.
it. I apologize.
He holds up like the bear necklace that he's wearing. He's like, look, this animal is a bear.
Oh, there goes the joke right over his head.
Nothing goes
Sometimes
over
I
his
think
head.
she's just crazy.
We don't know though, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
I want to travel.
Travel.
Let's
On the
travel.
road
Why not?
again.
Yeah.
Heading towards Lakeside.
Yes.
The road again.
If it's not necessarily a campfire moment, it's certainly a caravanning moment.
There you go.
As
I'm
you
going to
guys,
give half the money to her,
oh,
none to
What?
him.
What? What money do you have
You watched me take it out of the plant.
from the what? Where? When?
Oh, that red rose vase.
Yeah.
Yes. that base thing.
I
Back with
remember.
that charming dwarf.
I do remember.
And then I'll give the other half to him.
Oh. Okay. Here.
I look at it, and I don't.
I don't know what it's for.
Hugs divides what he thinks is half and half and gives half of it back to Blender.
Okay.
Talbar.
And then, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want money, I could just have all of it. Like,
He's
it's
just
not.
Like, look, there we go.
I give the rest of mine to Zephyr.
All
He's
right.
a freaking god.
Guess
Do you
I'm
even
covering
eat?
your tavern bill.
I have money.
Nice.
And I don't know what this money is for.
Oh.
This is the money that we got in the rose because the queen, the whatever his name, the Marquis said that we needed to grab it.
Yes.
The
Here's our
Marquis.
payment.
It was for you guys.
So now you guys have it.
Cool.
And I've still got a
How
backpack
much
full of
is this?
Deicide.
How much money do I have?
How much
Did it say
ale
how much
can I
was on
buy
there?
with this?
You never told me. And I never
$3
looked inside.
million.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure I did, didn't I?
Nope.
We had this conversation and you said you'd check while you were editing and then you never got back to me.
Oh.
Austin, you don't do anything.
I'm pretty sure it was something gross, like 4,000 gold.
Oh.
You're rich.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Pippi
we're
has
all
2,000,
super
and I
rich.
have 1,000, and Zephyr has 1,000.
And Talvar has nothing?
I have a backpack full of Deicide.
That's true.
That's true.
You
Hugs has
ass.
some Deicide too.
I like how you guys are walking towards Lakeside and just
And I
like
have 4 gold.
exchanging gold pouches.
the thing,
right.
the entire time, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I guess he gives me the gold, but I'm gonna also just berate Zephyr with questions about, like, what can you do that sets you apart from humans? Like, what can you?
Can
do you
you
have to
fly?
eat? Do you have to do you feel cold? Do you feel? Can you taste things? Do you have to sleep? Do you have to? And then all this kinds of stuff. And these are legitimate questions that I want to know about. And I have my notebook out and I'm ready to write stuff down. So
He's like, Pippi.
so
Pippi. I'm going to put this pretty simply. I don't die by natural causes, but besides that, you and I are the same.
oh.
Some god.
Define natural causes. Like, what if a branch falls off a tree and kills you?
Then I die.
Well, that's bull. All right, so you just have a super good immune system. Wow. Like, all right.
I like how she says, "What if a branch falls off a tree and kills you?"
Pippi is less impressed, but it's pretty cool that he's a
Better
god.
question: what happens if he gets severely injured? Does it heal super fast, or
No.
I mean, not to bring up the whole ship fight, but I mean, when Zephyr got his ass kicked on the ship, he looked like he went down just like any of the rest of us.
That's true. That's very true.
Hey, I wasn't trying too hard, okay?
He's like, of course. I'm pretty sure he just got his ass kicked off. And he'll just like punch Zephyr in the arm.
It
And he
breaks.
faints.
Yeah.
well, I mean, he did faint when Hugs hit him before and used him as a weapon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
During the games?
Oh,
Yeah.
good
Heck yeah.
times.
That's so funny.
Such a great time.
Yes, Zephyr's like, ah, yes, those memories.
Yeah,
You'll
no,
hold
it's all
on to that
fluttering back,
forever,
I
huh?
guess.
Sends him flying across the water.
That's right.
Oops.
No, and like, yeah, Zephyr can be hurt pretty easily. I mean, he seems to be more offensive than defensive in those kind of situations.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I start, I guess, connecting him back to the memories that we had together. Because, like, when he said he was, like, a immortal, that just raised the bar so high. And, yeah, it's fine. You're cool. You're
No,
cool.
Just ageless and can't get sick.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Can I just take the not get sick thing from him forever?
Just like steal it
Just
from
this
him.
is, this is
Listening
mine now.
And I will kind of introduce it here, but make it a permanent mechanic. If you guys are ever wanting to learn more about an NPC's backstory, totally feel free to ask practically whenever. Especially if they are a friend, they're probably willing to give it.
Cool. If
Right.
someone poisons you, hold on. If someone poisons you, do you just
all right,
not
if
get
you ask
poisoned?
any more questions,
Okay.
I'm changing your nickname to Chitterbug.
Okay, all right, I'm done.
Instead of Jitterbug. Ha ha ha.
See
That
that?
was very good.
You got that joke. That's right, I'm getting better.
No.
All right. I just sulk away. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Pippi's just kind of like prying like for like chinks in the armor, like
That's
trying to
right.
find like how can I kill Zephyr?
Well, apparently, any way she wants.
So, yeah.
Dropping a tree branch on him seems to be her go-to.
You just can't outlast him.
Hey everyone, Austin here, your DM. I'm going to take a little extra time during this intermission because there's a few things that I want to talk about. Although first, I wanted to apologize to our fans, audience, and friends of the podcast. I know our release schedule has been a little bit rocky and a little bit sporadic. The reasons for which I will get into in a little bit. However, moving forward, we are going to be better. We are going to be releasing officially every other Wednesday, right around noon, Mountain Standard Time. And the reason for that is simply because it is an excellent time slot, and it gives us a little bit more time to work on getting you quality content. Now, the reason that we've had these sorts of delays is because not only do I DM the podcast, I produce and edit it. And I also struggle on a day-to-day basis with mental health issues. It's messy, confusing, and in truth, not even I understand everything about it. Now, before I get any further into this, I need to make it clear that if you have mental health issues, there is by no means any reason that you should apologize for it. If it affects your life, your schedule, or simply you just need to take a day or a week or a month to yourself, that's fine. There's no reason for you to apologize for it at all. In my case, I have made a promise to my audience in the form of release schedules, and for me, that carries weight. And so, to you all, I am very, very sorry. Going forward, things are going to be better. Now, I know Mental Health Awareness Days was back on October 10th, and I mean the entire month of May, but I think mental health is something that needs to be talked about more than 32 days in a year. Now, I'm going to try to make this brief and try to do this in one take, but as a DM, as any DM, and as players at a role-playing tabletop setting, we all have a unique consideration when it comes to mental health. You see, D&D, tabletop role-playing, any sort of tabletop system, it's a way to escape. We get to play characters from other worlds that don't have the same limitations or the same problems or the same issues that we do. It's a way to forget, and it's a way to spend anywhere between 2 to 8 hours in a safe place away from our problems. But with all of that, there is another consideration, another issue that can pop up, and that being the happy, smiling bards at the table might, well, honestly, they might be hurting quite a lot inside, and we won't know. Not at the table, at least. I know there's a lot of times that I DM'd a session that was probably one of the best moments of my life, and then the second I walk away from it, the second I'm away from players, back at my house behind my computer by myself, that's when everything comes rushing back. And so, as a DM, I'm going to ask everyone, at least once once a week or a month, once when appropriate. It's probably going to be uncomfortable, but reach out to those people away from the table, text or whatever you need to do, and just ask, are you okay? Is there anything wrong? And if there is, I would really like to talk to you. And you can explain that you're just checking up on them. But really, 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 it means a lot. Because if those people are anybody like me, they feel like it's a great burden to talk to anybody about their issues. And just simply reaching out and saying, are you okay? That kind of relieves that burden. They can say, no, I'm not doing all right. And they won't feel bad about it. It's funny how difficult it can be to ask for help. And how easy it is and how wonderful it is to somebody when somebody comes up and offers it to you. Yeah. Let's take a break and I'm gonna play some music or something. And then I've got another announcement for you guys. Hey everyone, Austin here again on a much lighter note, and I am super excited to give a personal shout out to a new podcast I have been listening to. And when I say new, I mean new. They've been around since May, and they release every Monday and every Thursday. So they have a ton of momentum. They just released their 35th episode. Seriously, these guys are really witty, really funny. Now, I'm going to give you the rundown, but I'm going to do it in Gallitrix's voice. Join an intrepid band of 3 colossal idiots as they bumble their way through a delicate web of deceit, treachery, owlbears, and more. Follow the story of Brandis Thorne, a wanted man blamed for crimes he didn't commit, as he tries to escape Waterdeep and clear his name. Aided by his closest friend, with some very weird hobbies, Rinwin, and a shadowy rogue with a secret past, Buunch. Here, our unlikely group head off into the wilds of Faerun and the adventures they end up stumbling upon. Based in the UK, featuring an actor, a writer, and an idiot, DM'd by a man who somehow manages to mix all 3, Alignment Unknown is available on iTunes, Player FM, and all popular podcasting apps. You can find these guys on Facebook, on Twitter at AU_podcast, or just search for them, Alignment Unknown Podcast. You'll find them. Again, Alignment Unknown Podcast. Hilarious, funny, witty, and you get to see them twice a week. What could be better than that? Now, let's get back to the show. So, you are arriving in Lakeside as night is falling. And as you've known before, I mean, at least a little bit, this weird fog rolls in when the light disappears from these lands. Back in the southern part of the Ravenlands, when you were at that Camille's campsite, the campfire had kept this fog at bay.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys are kind of getting in closer towards the town, that sunset falls over the southern horizon, and this fog kind of rushes over you guys pretty quickly. Do any of you react with light or anything like that? Would you?
Yeah.
I have no such means at my disposal.
Yeah.
I can only use mine once a day, so no. I don't think the fog's going to attack us.
Well, stuff in the fog could.
Like me. Haha.
Suddenly Hugs just hits everybody in the back of the head. He's like, ha!
No, he just actually says, like me. Haha. Punch. And then just like
And then goes back to sleep.
slowly punches.
As this fog comes like rushing in, and like when I say rushing, like as fast as sunset will disappear across the land, that's how fast it moves in. It traces the light exactly.
Ooh,
And
creepy.
Pippi lights up her cantrip, a little ball of light, I guess, that floats around you.
Uh-huh.
And it immediately forces the fog back. Probably gets pretty close to you guys.
The fact that you had to specify that That's horrifying. We shouldn't touch this fog.
Touch the fog.
Don't touch the fog. Don't do it.
Hey, Belinda, how much will you give me if I touch this fog?
I hold up a single gold coin.
I'll give you
Worth it.
2,000 gold coin if you don't touch the fog.
Done.
All right.
He holds out his
Because I know it's shared gold. I give you the 2,000.
Sucker.
Put it in your inventory. I don't want to hold this. It'll just cling around.
I guess I just put my gold back. And then hold out a deicite, not for him again.
I grab it. Can I grab it? Can I try to grab his deicite?
You know, nobody
not
said
gonna let
those
you guys-
offers were mutually exclusive.
I want the freaking deicite.
You're gonna.
So bad.
If Pippi reached for your deicite, what would Talvar do?
Just clench it in his hands.
Okay, fair.
Fool me once with that whole thing.
Well, I was
That-
also really disabled with her thunderclap thing.
All right, I'm not gonna. Okay.
I want Hugs to touch the fog.
No, next. What's the next thing that happens? Because he's not touching the stupid fog.
The hill up to Lakeside is pretty steep. It is a merchant road and is smooth by proxy. And actually, there's a trail leading away from Lakeside that has smoothed out the Raven lands, like a trailhead or something like that. The water still floods over that portion, though. But you walk up the steep, smooth incline, and the fog traces in behind you and kind of forces itself away as you approach. The city of Lakeside itself is lit fairly well with these pretty aggressively burning oil and tar torches. And you see a fair commotion at the end, or the cliff of Lakeside, which is kind of behind all the buildings, behind the inn. There's a bunch of people standing around. And you notice a couple of them are those large, probably orc guards that were following the Raven Queen. And they're all looking down towards the lake.
I'm gonna go touch the fog. Just like stick my hand in it.
Really?
Yes. I need to know what it does. I need to. I feel a very strong desire to learn what this fog does.
And I'm out of money, so I can't bribe him to not touch the fog.
You've heard of the phrase, curiosity killed the fox, right?
No, but I've heard it killed the cat. So I'm good.
Why do you think there's no more Cat Clan? Ha! Look, 2 for 2.
Oh, no.
All right, Talvar, you reach out into the fog. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God.
Make a life-saving throw, because you're dead.
Probably.
Because you touched that stupid fog.
Probably.
Could you imagine if Pippi didn't put her light out?
I'm going to die.
Oh.
What did you roll?
3.
3?
With no adjustments, or
No, with my adjustments.
what'd you roll?
2.
Oh.
So Talvar
Ty.
reaches out into the fog, and this is a very hard feeling to describe, but if your mind is contained to sort of like your perception of yourself, all of a sudden that like cracks open and explodes outwards, and you feel pretty much everywhere where this fog is almost simultaneously. And there's something kind of towards the center, and you feel a need to try to get to it. And so you just fall to the ground and kind of like mush your face against it. And this is smooth stone, but if it wasn't, you would like have shredded yourself on the ground, and you claw at the dirt and like your nails break on the stone ground.
Good
Upon
thing you
seeing
didn't
that,
touch the
Hugs will
fog.
just kind of like grab him and pick him up and shake him.
Is he in the fog, though?
Is he in the fog?
You could probably like grab his legs and pull him back.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa there, Belinda. Come on back.
Hey there, cowboy.
And he'll pull him back in.
But now I know.
Yeah. You, when Hugs pulls you back, that's when you feel almost as if somebody has severed most of your body away. And all of a sudden your conscious is back to just you. And for a moment it feels intensely uncomfortable and lonely and weird.
Whoa.
Hey, you're right there, buddy.
I just give him a blank stare.
Explain.
I kick him a little bit.
Please, our only mute character, explain to us that intense feeling.
That you don't even know happened. You just saw me suddenly fall on the ground and start. Well, I guess you wouldn't even see what was happening. You just see my feet sticking out of the fog.
Turned into like a little chipmunk or something, and you just started scratching a bunch. It's weird. Not gonna lie.
I just continued to give him a blank stare.
Right.
All right.
Well, this guy's catatonic.
All right, I'm
Just
super
pick him up and
curious.
throw him over his shoulder.
I get my pinky,
Oh, Jesus.
and I just walk to the edge of it. It's a clear line, right? Or is it just...
It's pretty distinct, though, No, your light is okay because it lets off this constant glow. So you can actually see pretty much like a fog wall.
Okay.
The torches that flicker around town, it distinctly kind of moves in and out, and it's a blurry, scary zone if you're kind of near the edge.
Right. I want to touch my pinky into the fog. Just my pinky.
Wisdom
Okay.
saving throw.
Okay.
So apparently I am in the group with 2 Cat Clan members.
Well, because I'm the only one that can describe this stupid thing, I want to know what we're up against. And he didn't die, so we're going to be fine. Let's see.
Just going to end up carrying both of them into town. Sparkles, do you think these people are idiots?
Put the cat in catatonic. Let's see. Is it wisdom?
I don't know. It's probably... He's distracted. Zephyr's distracted.
I also don't
Wisdom?
know why he's
Yes.
carrying me. I just sit there.
Well, you're just sitting there staring, so I'm just like, well, apparently he's just not responding anymore.
I just
gonna
shrugged.
be-
I'm like, all right, free ride.
What is it going to be? Perception, survival? Can it be survival?
It's just wisdom.
Just
wisdom?
Wisdom saving throw.
Can it be insight?
Nope.
All right, so it's going to be 12.
You actually have a different experience in Talvar.
Oh.
Everything is the same. Your consciousness expands out, and it's absolutely terrifying. Because to you, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like something is like trying to rip and stretch your mind across this area. And
Yeah.
you do feel that thing in the center, and you know it's trying to pull you towards it. And if it gets you, it's going to like devour you, is the sensation you have. But you have total control over your body.
I pull out. Immediately.
Spoken like a true champion.
Pull out! No!
down
Too
here.
deep! All right.
That's what she said.
What is Pippi's demeanor? Does she like fall back and like scream or anything? Or is she pretty quiet?
I mean, I meant to ask Hugs to spot me, but I guess that was probably already a given, right?
I guess.
Maybe. Probably not. I don't know. I probably just immediately just retract my finger, and I'm like, just like, whoa, okay. So there's this giant entity in the middle of this giant fog, and I think it's gonna eat me if I go into that fog.
Should I go
Talvar
kill
probably
it?
felt a little bit better about it than I did because he went all in, but I just did the tip. So
I see. Yes. It's much easier to pull out if you only use the tip.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So anyway, I think this is a dangerous entity and we need to stay out of this fog.
Do I need to go kill it?
No, God, I paid you so much money.
At this, I tap his shoulder and go in.
No.
I just want to see what he'll do. And he's still holding me too, so
I'm going
even
to
more
consciously move the
curious.
light around Hugs and stay near Hugs. Because I know none of us can
No.
pull him out of the fog. Are you kidding me? No.
She has a valid point.
You're the one guy we can't save from this nonsense.
Right. Well,
But I also feel like Hugs will pull a manly man and just deal with it.
I give him, like, I notice Talvar's fighting me on this, so I look at Hugs with, like, the biggest doe eyes that I can, and I'm like, Hugs, you said you'd stay with me and protect me.
well, yes, of course. Don't worry, Jitterbug. I won't ever leave your side.
Okay.
He picks her up and runs in.
Yoink! Tally ho!
Trying to beat the light that's chasing us. Okay, so we're on the carriage. Are we getting closer to the town then?
Oh, you're in the town.
Oh, we're in the town. Oh,
Ooh.
we look around. Oh,
Yeah. That's why you had seen a bunch of people overlooking the lake from the cliff.
that's
It's
right.
Right. Back
they're
onto the
probably
main
doing something.
storyline.
Whoosh. Turn around, stick hand in fog, smash face on ground, Pippi step hand, jump back. It's been a mess.
All right.
Everything's fine.
Well, you guys are definitely insane. I can tell I'm the smartest in this group, so perhaps I go first. I'll head towards the people on the ledge.
And he's carrying me, so I'm
Okay.
going towards the people
And I'm
on
following
the
them
ledge.
diligently.
I think he's forgotten that he's carrying you.
I guess I'll have to say we're on the edge of town because when you guys are in town, you're totally safe. Like this place is lit super well.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
lit.
That was the least hug voice I've ever heard you do.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
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 Oh, nice.
That should be a t-shirt. Just nice.
Nice.
It's covered in bedazzled gems. Nice.
That'd be beautiful.
Be great. All right. Hello, people.
Like several people jump immediately, and some of them scatter because Hugs is, I guess, not covered in blood. You've been washed on that point, but
Right.
are you wearing your black robes?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I am.
I think the rest of you probably
Yeah.
are. It's just Hugs that
Yeah.
stands out. And a Goliath is an odd sight in most places of the lands of the Kindred, especially the Ravenlands,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
So people jump and scurry back, and they kind of just look at you in awe. Would you interact with them or approach the cliffside, do you think? Hugs.
What are you all looking at?
I think they're looking at you.
You see a mix of people, townsfolk, regular, merchants, kids, young people. This Lakeside is an actual town. Most of them have those black robes on, but a lot of them have their face uncovered, as per the Raven Queen coming and healing people. Seems like that happened here as well. There are a few of the orc guards, and out of the crowd steps Soria, the older of the hosts, or the escorts, Umbra's older sister.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
How's it going? Nice to see you again.
Yes, it's nice to see you again.
Don't
What-
appreciate that sarcasm.
What happened to your sister?
Her face gets super serious.
Oh, no.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
don't bring up the kidnapped child. That's probably not a good idea.
Did I forget something? Did she get kidnapped?
No,
Yes.
she helped us to keep the queen from simply
But she was
killing
also
us.
kidnapped.
Oh.
She's like, we have
I
the
forgot
younger
about
sister.
that, and now
whole
I
thing.
remember.
Mhm.
I kind of half ask it like, oh, what happened?
I suddenly set up
Oh.
and tap Hugs' shoulder and go, looks like the queen killed another one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put this guy down. He sets him behind him.
It's like he's a rag doll right now. Looks like they got another one, am I right? Nudge, nudge, drop.
yeah. Yeah.
I said it very quietly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I mean, we heard about little girl's name.
Her name was Umbra.
Umbra.
Umbra. Yes, heard about her in the Wolf Assassin Guild underground thing beneath that one city that
You
we were
can't
just
dig your
in.
way out of a hole, Hugs. You can't do it.
I'm gonna be real honest. I'm real bad with names. Yes. Hi.
There's like
So what are you doing here in Lakeside?
we had agreed to meet here.
That's right. That's why we're
Oh,
here.
That's right. Oh, I knew that.
Yes. We did the thing
Of course.
that your queen asked us to do.
She nods a little bit and she says, "Good brevity. I will fetch the queen shortly."
We have the rose, right?
Jitterbug.
Oh,
rose.
I said
The rose is not important anymore. The rose was the symbol on the vase that had all this coin, this bling in it. Now that we've got that, the rose is not important. What was important was that we went in and murdered all of the wolf assassins.
Snake.
Snake.
We were
That's
after
right.
the snakes.
but we
We killed all the snakes.
no, I understand that, but like we don't have a rose, so it's
The
gonna be
ro-
really
No,
embarrassing.
no,
We
the
didn't
money
need
was
to get
hidden
a
under
rose.
the rose. That
I
was
get
our
it, but
payment.
that's like our money. What do we bring to? Like we don't have anything to bring to these. What are we doing here?
And
Just
We're
to be
meeting
here?
them after a job well done.
It's
All
a
right,
trap.
explain this. What the hell is
It's a
this?
trap.
I'm
So-
getting real upset. I thought there was a rose in this situation. I thought we were
There was. It was on the vase. It's
No
all-
one got the vase. No one freaking brought the vase.
Well, of course not. There was money inside of it. That's all we took.
You guys are.
It's like 4,000 gold or
The
something.
queen comes out. You brought the vase, right?
We're just like infighting, like right in front of this crowd of people. It's just
Yeah, no, you
bickering.
you guys are bickering back and forth, and then that's when Soria, she yells at you guys,
Oh shoot.
and she yells, "Silence," and turns around at everyone else and says, "Go back to your homes." And they do.
Oh shoot.
And this person's probably like not much older than like 18, I guess, in like sort of standard human years, and everyone takes off and kind of clears out.
She's 22.
And left is just her, and then about 3 or 4 of these tall robed guards, probably orcs. Based on their size, they probably would have to be orcs or like tremendously big people, human people. Soria says, "Perhaps you should go over exactly what happened. You say you've killed wolves, and you say they had something to do with my sister."
Yeah. Yes. So. we were-
Oh, they kidnapped her?
Wow. You really weren't paying attention.
Well, he never said who they kidnapped.
Yes.
He just said they took the girl.
They did, though. They said we kidnapped the younger girl or something.
That we kidnapped the young girl and we'll be delivering her to this city.
Perhaps I'm jumping to conclusions then.
Well, we know that now.
I thought the queen
Wait,
killed the girl for
Somebody
helping
said
us.
no. Somebody said that it was her. It was Umbra. Somebody said Umbra. I thought.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person to remember stuff. And I don't think any of us heard it.
I'm actually pretty sure I'm the only one that overheard the conversation.
Yeah, real talk. I can't remember any of this. So
I'm now drawing a blank.
It was while we were sitting at the table.
Yes, you heard an unnamed serpent man telling Algira that he has kidnapped the Raven girl And
That's what it was.
and will deliver her to the... I think it just said will deliver her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Hugs just immediately assumed that that meant Umbra.
Okay.
So.
Hugs' like common sense is through the roof. Like his connection
I'm
capabilities.
still thinking the queen killed her.
Did the queen kill your sister real quick? Just get that out of the way.
Like I don't think she would though, right? Because she raised her and stuff.
But the sister's
This is
the
going to
one
help
that
clear
helped
it
us.
up a lot right now.
Your sister's not dead, right? I'm sorry. What's our
Bunch of
mission?
chuckle fucks over here.
I'd like to point out that Soria never really liked you guys at all, and she is, like, fuming
Yeah.
at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because she is still in her ceremonial dancing clothes that you had seen from the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So
Looking real good.
you have, like, a mostly naked person, like, chasing off a crowd of people and just staring daggers at you guys.
Just really upset, huh?
Very upset. And
Does she look cold or anything like that?
cold?
Does she
She's like in
Are you
these
asking if she's
ceremonies. She's
nipping?
like wearing nothing right now. There's like fog everywhere. It's nighttime.
I mean, you could imagine she would probably be cold.
I
but-
want to give her my cloak.
I
She's
wouldn't
cold.
approach her. In all honesty. I'm going to put a hand down.
I was like, oh, she's probably cold.
Yeah, let's not approach her.
Okay.
Maybe give her some space.
Tell us what you need to tell
I've
us
seen
because we're
that look
obviously
before.
just ruining everything.
She glares at you guys some more and says, "Why would the queen have killed my sister?"
I don't know. She seems like she wants to kill a lot of people. Like us. That was a bit of a weird moment.
She gave us the scroll to read.
Well, I mean, like, with everything going on, it's just, Queen seems very killy.
She seems explosive,
Yes.
just a bit.
Little bit.
From
Tiny
our
bit.
yeah.
Nothing about anything else as he puts a hand over Telvar's mouth.
She just seemed a little bit unpredictable. Was our first impression of her.
Yes.
Both of
And
you,
Umbra seemed like such a sweet little thing, so.
Right.
bluff checks from both of you too.
But I really liked Umbra. I thought we could be really good friends.
11.
16.
Okay. Both of you are kind of sounding convincing-ish, but she actually holds up her hands and kind of puts them over, like, her field of vision, like, puts them over your hands, almost in a dismissing sort of, like, it's very, very rude, I guess.
Right.
And focuses on Talvar. And she says, a scroll, you said?
I just give her an awkward smile and step behind Hugs.
She-
we read a scroll from the queen.
And she looks down and thinks for a moment. This is an interesting revelation.
Hi.
And she looks towards Talvar again and she says, I appreciate your honesty. Perhaps you are not the traitorous type that my sister and those other 4 are. And she says, stay here a moment, if you will.
Other 4.
And she starts to leave.
No, I'm
Hey, let's
scared.
go explore. Because wherever I'm going, you guys are coming because I have the light.
We're in
the
a town.
entire city is lit, and I'm just going to... I'm
True.
actually going to just sit down and start playing random calming music.
Is Talvar having like a panic attack?
Yes.
He's
I
like,
dig
and
it.
is that other 4? What other 4? Oh my god. What
Pretty much exactly what's going through his head.
Okay. I do want to explore.
Okay.
I'm not going to do what she said.
So you probably walk over to the edge of the cliff, maybe, where everyone else was looking around?
Yeah, I would like to talk to some people because are there any kids nearby?
No.
No. Okay.
Soria has chased them all away.
All right.
Everyone. We are alone.
Well,
would-
there's 4 orc guards kind of like staring at you.
Oh, I thought they left with her.
They're kind of a distance away, but
Okay.
Is there anyone that, like, what do these people look like?
in, like, when you say people, the Raven people?
Yeah, they're in those black cloaks still, and they're...
Yeah, they're in the black cloaks. Before they were completely covered. Now they at least have their faces revealed,
Except for the guards.
except for the
Oh.
guards. Their skin is pretty much clear.
Mhm.
Like, it seems to be cleaned up and healed from some kind of ritual. There are a variety of races here. It's primarily human in the Ravenlands.
Okay.
It seems like human and orc are kind of the highest percentage of the population.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool little mix. I'd like to talk to one of them and ask them about the fog. Someone that's maybe, yeah, just someone, just
So
a
she
random
tries
person.
to track someone down.
Follow them in the night, pop out from an alleyway. What do you know about this fog?
How about this weather, huh? Quite foggy. What can you tell me about it?
You see some people, like after Soria has kind of left, there's some people kind of peeking their heads out of like windows and things, and they kind of step back out and try to go about their business. So you can probably like run up and ambush one of them.
I won't ambush one. I want to walk up and just casually be like, "Oh, hey, so I'm new in town. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this crazy fog, right? I touched it and I felt something really hyper real and this crazy entity in the middle. What's that? What's going on there?"
You are speaking to a younger orc man, probably a little over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Actually, half orc, so not so tall.
I'm just looking way
Yeah.
up at him still. Like, just
She's like
hey,
4
bud.
So
And he says, "You have touched the fog.
I did. Was that what's going on there?
Why would you do that?"
Because my friend touched it and he looked like he was going
The
crazy.
members of the cat clan.
And he wouldn't explain it, so I was just curious.
He reaches out a pretty burly hand,
I mean, I back off a little bit.
and he pulls his hand back. "I do hope your screams of insanity go swiftly," and leaves.
I chase him down. What? Hey. I just tug on his cloak like screams of his
Becky means you have Tourette's now, and you're just gonna start just randomly shouting.
screams of insanity. What are you talking about? I'm actually really upset about this. Like, this has got to be. Is this a side effect of touching the fog? Is this why people don't touch the fog? Is this, like, my mind is going a million miles an hour. This is crazy. Screams of insanity. What?
Screams of insanity if you're one of the lucky ones. And he continues.
I run to Talvar because he's the only one else that's going to do whatever is going to happen to me, and we'll be in this together, at least.
I'm still just playing music.
I'm just going to sit next to him and just freak
At some
out
point,
quietly.
I switched to their actual religious music
Okay.
from the ritual.
You start just like humming healing music.
No, I have the my flute. but
Okay.
Yeah.
You start playing healing music.
Yeah.
And, like the orcs, like a couple heads like snap over towards you when they kind of hear the tune, and it seems that there actually might be something to this. It brings you at least out of your panic attack. You compose yourself. Pippi might be composed because you're composed. Hugs, you're overlooking a cliff.
Yeah.
You're tall. You can see down there.
Meanwhile,
What is down there?
In the water, you see what can only be described as a Lovecraftian creature. An amorphous sort of blob of flesh with tentacles, big, huge tentacles, kind of wriggling out. And it is completely rended and broken apart and dead. And blood is leaking all over the place. And you see kind of shimmery little sparks kind of in the water, like static electricity or something. And then those kind of trail off eventually as well.
Giant dead octopus.
Kind of.
do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Sounds cool.
So Talvar's having a panic attack, and then Hugs walks over and he's like, oh.
That. Giant dead octopus. Turns around. Hey, you all right there, buddy?
I'm still playing the music.
Oh man, I want to tell him, but it's not going to help.
No, that would not help
Well,
at all.
I'm going to.
I don't want to. Yeah, I hear him.
I'm going to make the executive decision here and just yoink and picks up Talvar. And then just kind of walks over to where Pippi walked off and just is like,
She walked back over to me.
Sparkles, I think we need to leave.
Leave?
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Let's go.
As you guys start to walk away from the city, you hear Soria clear her throat.
Yep, definitely need to leave.
Yeah, let's go.
And the Raven Queen steps out from what could be like a military barracks.
Hello.
I mean, I'm still walking. Like, even if everyone else stopped, I'm just still walking.
I
and
have
freaking
no
out.
choice in the matter. Hugs is holding me, and I can't beat his strength.
Okay. The Raven Queen strides forward and takes her book that she was holding before with like a prophecy book, and she has her finger kind of like clamped as a bookmark in it, and she like slams it down onto the dirt and in this water that is kind of collecting on the ground, and it's flipped open to that like prophecy page of the 4 people standing underneath the geyser. Somebody like immediately kind of like looks over at the commotion, and Soria like kind of points at her and then like flicks her hand, and that person runs away real fast. And you guys are left like completely dead quiet in the middle of this plaza. The Raven Queen steps forward and she says, I suppose I've misjudged the value of you 4.
In a good way or a bad way?
I mean, she thought pretty little of us in the first place.
Pretty, yeah. A very wide margin.
And
Maybe she thinks even worse of us now.
and she continues and she says, Soria has informed me that Umbra showed you a particular scroll.
Oh, Umbra showed us the scroll.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
I remember that now. I'm sorry, it's been
and the
This is
too
what
queen,
happens when we're not
and the
playing for
queen
2
knew
weeks.
who had access to the scroll, which is why I thought that the queen killed Umbra.
Right. I forgot about all that. Now it's coming back to me.
I am very much aware of my traitorous younger daughter.
I stopped dead in my tracks. And I'm very upset because Umbra was a good person.
Which I will prepare a punishment fitting if you will return her to me.
She was.
Yeah.
Now we just have to find out where the stupid wolves took her.
Well, we don't know where she is. I made a very large assumption. I don't think it's actually her.
Is he saying this?
Yes.
I turn around and I say, well, I guess we overestimated you, Queen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She almost uncharacteristically dismisses the insult. My daughter has fled my lands with 4 most disappointing serpent members who won my compassion over, which was a mistake.
Serpent people.
We may have accidentally killed our only lead.
No. Wait. Serpent people.
Time out.
You said you were compassionate towards the serpents.
Or some serpents.
She holds out an open hand towards the book on the ground.
Oh, I get it. You thought those 4 were the champions too. Wow, you're really just doling out that prophecy stuff, huh?
Do you know how many groups of 4 there are out there?
At
how
least
do you think
every 4 people.
Do you throw your freaking daughters at every group of 4 that comes past your dumb Ravenlands?
Oh, God. There's a difference between a group of 4 and a group of 4 that was there when the geyser erupted or at the entrance of the geyser at any point.
I guess. Still stupid.
I'm still being held by hugs, so I can't do a damn thing.
I can set you down if you're struggling.
Okay, I'm
Just
going
pat
to
him on the
start
back.
struggling.
I set him down.
And she says, there is plenty to discuss, but I need to give you a humblest apologies. And she kneels down, actually, to you.
Whoa.
Oh.
Out of a recess in her robe, she pulls out a medallion. And inscribed is some pretty ancient language. Zephyr taps the side of Hug's legs when he sees it. And the Raven Queen holds it out for someone to take, and she keeps her head in placation until you do.
Go forward and just be like, "It's all right. We all make mistakes." And he takes it from her.
We all make mistakes. Take.
And she says, you are my champions, and I owe a gratitude to you. She gestures back towards the lake, and she says, the 4 that had won my trust killed the guardian of our lands.
Oh, wow.
So the serpent people that you put your trust in, they just up and killed your protector?
Yes.
And then Umbra ran away with them? Wait, no. Okay.
Or they were kidnapped by them?
All right, you're cool now. So, hey, she didn't leave or flee. She was actually taken against her will.
Yeah, she must have been kidnapped.
By the
In fact, we
wolves.
know that because of that assumption I was talking about earlier. That place that you sent us to, a bunch of serpents down in there. Blender here overheard a conversation.
And I read his mind.
And I read his mind. Through the magic of audio.
You heard that someone has kidnapped my daughter?
I actually would have told you all this after you killed the serpent I was trying to capture.
Right.
Oh, man, I feel like ripe garbage for thinking you were a bad person. You just thought your daughter up and left, huh? With these serpent people that betrayed you.
That was certainly my impression.
Ah.
Yes, no, it appears that she was kidnapped and is going to be delivered to somebody in the Wolflands. They were talking to Wolf Person.
The wolf person kidnapped them.
Yes, they were talking to
And-
Kisses.
Soria kind of pipes up and she says, I would be pretty surprised if Umbra was taken like that. And the queen kind of snaps, physically snaps at her. And Soria shuts up real quick. And the queen says, I will look into this. You have done me a great service here. I cannot hold you in my lands. It would be selfish. Go back and do what must be done in your divine quest. I will follow up with you, if I may. I will send a courier to Polestar, to your Lord Coral, if I need you. And
Okay.
if you need me, the complete opposite is possible.
Well, I have a question really quick before you head out. what are these screams of madness that people get when they, touch the fog? What's that all about? Not that I touched the fog, but
Not that I touched the fog, but this guy did.
this guy touched the fog. I'm just really concerned about my buddy,
Where's that bus?
She looks over towards you. The fog that plagues us currently, and its unknown origin, is something that we are still figuring out. Though, any travelers lost within it are usually compelled to madness and travel deep into the swamps and perish long before they reach wherever they're going.
Wow. So, has anyone made it to the center with like a light or anything like that?
I mean, the center seems to be down, considering I was trying to dig straight through stone
With your face.
with my face.
That's right.
Let's do an insight check, everyone. You can decide if one person does it or everyone does it, using that rule of...
Who's got the highest?
Nat 20!
Well, that decides that.
The Raven Queen says, "There are some who have seen it, and I am working on a solution." But Pippi, she's not working on a solution.
You're not working on a solution.
Oh my god.
I can see it in your eyes.
You hear a very long, drawn-out sigh from Soria. And maybe it's one of the first times you've ever seen Soria, like, genuinely concerned about something.
Yeah.
And the Raven Queen says, "You do not know the particular magics and rituals required to take down such a creature. I am making preparations. But I'm going to need the requisite components before I do so."
And what's that comprised of? It's not like unethical means. I don't know. This all seems pretty shady. Why don't you just move?
It's like asking all the elk people to leave Snowdrift.
There's dirt elsewhere. We can farm anywhere.
Well, okay, maybe that's the wrong elk to tell that to, but
I just care about my people. People are where the home is.
And her people were nomadic before the
Yeah,
wolves
I mean,
attacked.
literally, that's my whole deal. Moving from place to place.
no, but I mean they don't go down into the desert.
But it would be like
That's true.
telling a fox to leave sanctuary.
That's true.
There you go. That was the better one.
There you go.
That's true. That's true. I guess I just personally, my way of thinking, I don't understand this. Like, why stay in a place that's slowly, driving your people literally mad enough to kill them?
Our magic requires sacrifice. Sacrifice of life and flesh and blood. The sea used to provide quite a lot of that. And whilst it's been gone, our rituals have fallen mostly to the wayside, promoting advancement of our problems. The sea has returned, though, and soon the wildlife with it, I would think. It is not a concern of yours.